Hello and welcome to another edition of the 16-Ounce Canvas, the Art of Craft Beer podcast. My name is AJ Kierans and I'm your host here each and every week as we do our part to introduce you to the artists and designers from around the world who help bring some of our favorite beers and breweries to life. So we are still in the midst of season 16. This is episode 186. It's not a prime number. It's an even number. It's not divisible by 16. But for season 16, what we did is we really tried to catch up with some of our early guests, see how they're doing, what's new, and just really try to give them the hype and the appreciation that they deserve for having done so much for us and believing in the project from a very early age. And none other than this week's guest, Dan Blakeslee, episode 1. So we're at episode 186. He's episode 1. So 185 episodes later, 4 years later, we're catching up. Now, we've done work with Dan before. He was a part of the Art of Craft Beer, our first event that we did at the Kehler Liddell Gallery in New Haven, Connecticut. He had the original Heady topper artwork with him. He also performs live music. I think of him as like a troubadour, storyteller, really just, living on the road at times and just sharing his stories and his adventures and just his great energy and perspective. And so, it was really great to catch up with him. I know that he's been going through some hard times recently with loss, like so many of you out there are. And we just wanted to, we let Dan know how much we love him during the episode, but just want to reiterate that once again, that, he's such a kind and, unique soul that we're really lucky to be able to, call a friend. He was part of Hubbub, in Bridgton, Maine before, everything was shut down. And again, he performed there and had his art on display and really was just part of, again, believed in what we're doing. Was able to support him in his music and really just kind of tie it all together. But, we know that when this is all over, we have to do some things, and so we'll bring the gang all back together and, we'll figure something out. So, the Art of Craft Beer post-COVID. But DanBlakeslee.com, you can check out his music, find out what he's up to. At the end of the episode, he plays some music for us, which is awesome. And really just, he's just a great soul and he's an all-around good person. So if you haven't listened to the first episode and you're just kind of late joining us, episode 1, Dan Blakeslee. He is, I think of Heady Topper as being on the, for lack of a better term here in the U.S., Mount Rushmore of beer labels. I think it's one of the greats, and it really, it was way ahead of his time. So a little teaser later in the episode, Dan goes and grabs the original piece and shares it with us, which is super cool. Having seen that in person, it literally will blow your mind. So this is the 16-Ounce Canvas. I'm AJ Kierans. AJ@16ozcanvas.com is my email address. If you or someone you think we should be a good guest on the show in the future, we'd love to hear from you. You can also follow us along on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now that's kind of anticlimactic, YouTube. So we're always trying different things. We're trying new things. We're trying to keep it fresh, keep it interesting. And we really appreciate all the support that we've had over the years. Like I said, I know that people are going through some tough times. I try to stay positive. We're closer, to the end than we are the beginning. And, I just keep driving it home and trying to get that phrase to take off. I don't know if people are using it. You can use it. And, it's great. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all that stuff. But, as we mentioned in last week's episode, I got my first shot. I'm not a needle person, but want to give a thanks to the Bridgeport firefighters and EMTs who were helping administer the shots, and just feeling great. I have no concerns. If you have the opportunity, please get the shot. My family and my wife is vaccinated. They're double dosed, and so I was able to see my family in the Philadelphia area. We met at a CDC compliant state, New Jersey, and it was wonderful to see them for the first time in 6 or 7 months. And so yeah, it's tough, and you're in our thoughts, and you know it's okay to have tough days. So you're not alone. We also want to take this opportunity to, I guess, send our condolences. I won't say hopes and prayers because sometimes I just think that can be just a little bit of, BS, a little bullshit. But, to those who lost their lives in Georgia, as well as in Denver, Colorado, to senseless gun violence. No one wants to take your fucking guns. No. Don't flatter yourself. You just, if you want to be a hunter and hunt, you don't need an AR-15. So just, it doesn't make any sense. So come back at me, bring it, if you don't like that, we're getting political, oh, see you later. I don't really care. It's human life. I've had people I love, die from gun violence. It's just, it just doesn't make sense until you can justify, why you think that the, Second Amendment, which was about a musket, which was a single shot, is correlating to an AR-15, then, you're just wasting our time. So let's keep the energy positive. Let's, Dan Blakeslee brings it. He's just a, quirky, unique, festive, exciting individual, and I know that you will, love him as much as we do. So without further ado, episode 186, divisible by 6, 31 times. DanBlakeslee.com, AJ Cairns 16OZ Canvas, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to use that hashtag. Let us know what you're doing. We can help you. That's what we're here for. We're building this community. So we thank you all for being a part of it. And so without further ado, my good friend, and soon to be yours, Mr. Dan Blakeslee, right here on the 16-ounce canvas. You Got a Craft Beer Podcast.
Like a year, but yeah, I got at least 12. I'm not going to put them all on all the same album. I don't want it's like a mix of emotions. There's like some songs about like, humanity, like coming together during this time and all that stuff. And then there's about, like the race riots and everything and all the crazy stuff. So it's sort of like, it's a mixed bag, let's say. And, but I've also been doing a bunch of online concerts. I probably should have been doing more because most of my friends who are musicians that are playing like non-pandemic times, like the same, amount of shows that I am, they were doing like 3 shows a week, like on Zoom or YouTube or whatever. And it's like, I've been doing like 1 every week or 1 every 2 weeks because I want them each to be special, but that's also really hard because that's such a financial cut, and also, I'm playing in my living room every day for like 2.5 hours. So just turn on the camera, right? Yeah. I mean, that would make sense. But of course, there's lots of mistakes when I'm sitting by myself in my living room playing guitar. But yeah, I've been doing a bunch of concerts and everything, and I'm trying to figure out what to look at. Should I look at
I'm really bad with that. Yeah, you're fine.
It's so funny. That's why I'm like, should I pull this farther away? Should I put glasses on so people can't see me looking at you or looking at the camera?
Yeah, I thought about that too. I'm really bad. Like I've had meetings where, because if I think a lot, like my eyes go to the left and I get lost in thought, and then I've had people message me like, "You're not looking at anyone," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So
no, but that's fun. You're thinking.
I think it's.
You have an excuse.
That's how I am. Like I'm not like a stare you right in your eye. Like some people find that as like exactly. Some people find that as like I don't know if it's like ignoring them, but it's just like it's weird. I don't know where to look. So yeah, I'm still
right. Well, I can't tell where you're looking. Just to let you know.
Oh yeah, because you're on your phone.
Tiny on my because I did it instead of doing this on my laptop. I did it on my phone for some reason. I thought you were just gonna like call through like I didn't know you were filming the thing. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna call for what's that, Skype or whatever.
Yeah, Skype. Yeah.
They
really dropped the ball. Yeah, they had the market cornered and they really dropped the ball. Now it's like, I'm going to do a Zoom. It was like, yeah, they were like the Kleenex of tissues, and then they dropped the ball. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I've been doing that, doing a bunch of art, like not too much stuff, because kind of when the pandemic came in, a lot of folks I was doing artwork for were musicians. So they're like, whoa, I can't put out my album now, so therefore I didn't have that artwork or whatever. But, like eventually they've been slowly getting back, being like, okay, now I'm ready. Now that the, pandemic is like starting to lift a little bit. So, and that's one thing. It was crazy. I got reminded of through my mom. She sent me a text and she said, hey, I bet your schedule is filling up. You've been booking a lot of shows. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't booked any shows this year. Because normally at this time I have like 60 on the books already for like, just to plant the seed. And it's so crazy to think that, like, oh man, wow. So some venues will be open a little more this year, a little more fully this year, maybe like 3/4 capacity or something, or half capacity instead of a quarter capacity. So it's like last year I was able to book 23 shows, and they were all like safe outdoor shows where I have like 12 feet around me, like no one can get to me. And it was really fun. I'm so happy those folks asked me to do it, because I needed that for my soul.
Yeah.
Needed that for my soul. And so I got to get on booking stuff this year.
Yeah.
So especially because a lot of places just figured out that they can do some safe events towards like the end of the summer last year. So now they're like opening earlier this year to like, to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things I always admired. I mean, you're like a troubadour. You're on the road like all the time, and just, playing your music. And so, yeah, the musicians, I know for me to not go to see live music, but I mean, for somebody who's creating all the time, yeah, it's kind of,
yep. That's what's killing me, is not seeing other people play. Because usually I play like 4 or 5 nights a week, and then the other nights, every night I go see music somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's a friend or someone I've never heard of before or something, But it's like, it's such a strange thing to like not see anybody. I did over the summer. I was able to see some folks, but I've been talking to some musician friends of mine. I said, okay, as soon as the weather warms up, regardless of whether or not we have shows, can I come over to your yard and we'll sit 6 feet apart and play for each other? You know what I mean? It's like, it's so inspiring to do that, so.
Yeah. I've been trying to use this time to find new music or just experience like, different stuff. And I try to keep track like by month of the new music I listen to, just so I can kind of have like a retrospective. But yeah, I mean,
cool.
It's kind of a way to do it. Like, a few guests have said they do that. They'll have like a playlist for the month and just all this stuff. And then I listen to this thing with Questlove, and he like organizes all of his music a certain way. And I was like, I kind of like that. Like, I kind of, it's kind of a cool way to look back on it.
That's awesome. There was something I saw yesterday. Sorry, I'm kneeling on the ground. Like, I don't know why I just decided to like just sit in a chair, maybe. So hold on, I get it. Sorry, I keep adjusting. Sorry, this is probably annoying to the viewers. Whatever. Sorry. No, but I saw on someone's Instagram they had a thing that's like what they listened to most in all of last year, and I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy to think about that. It's like I listened to a lot of Clifton Chenier, which is just great music from Louisiana, and Cajun Zydeco, and it's just makes me happy.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, not that I'm trying to like, only listen to things that make me happy, because you gotta have, I mean, all my emotions were in check last year. more than they ever have been in my entire life. And, you know, it's like, I listen to such a broad range of music between like punk rock and classical and folk and country and zydeco and blues. And so it's like, I remember one day I was living in Somerville, Massachusetts, and my roommates wanted to throw a party, and everyone had a chance to DJ. And when DJ Dan took the booth, I was playing the Smurfs. I was playing Star Wars soundtrack, blues, you know, punk, folk, like whatever. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. The other thing, I mentioned this before, but my wife got me like digital turntables, and
no way.
And like probably like, I don't know how long ago, it was a Father's Day, so maybe like 18 months ago. And that's been my like, I jokingly been saying DJ Dad Bod, and I just been playing, like trying to play all like you're like, just like you're saying, like, you know, an old Bill Withers tune into like a Run the Jewels into.
Oh, so you have the two tables.
Yeah. I mean, they're not as good. Like they're not like the tech, like they're kind of like a starter kit. Like they're smaller. They're not a full, like technomic, huge.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
but like,
yeah,
it's like kind of like in case you want to, it's like my first guitar version of like turntables. And so it's made by Pioneer. Like it's still
that is a great present.
Yeah, it's it's been the best. And so like that's kind of one of my like post pandemic hopes is like even just like a barbecue in the backyard, just get like some speakers and just like play music, because like it's just to play it loud and like people are like, oh, I never heard of that, or I like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Man,
what's one of your top favorite go-to songs? Like if you were asked, okay, you have one song to play for people to introduce them to something that you're super into. It doesn't have to be your top favorite song of all time, but something that you think people should hear. Is there a certain song you think of?
There's like, I found this like a remix album. It's like Motown remixed. So it's like ABC, and there's like a good version of I mean, Stevie Wonder is always a go-to for me. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. Woo! And so like it's that. So it has like kind of like a higher tempo, but some of the like breakdowns are pretty good. So it's a good, like, I like to turn people on to music they don't think they like, or they think is too old for them, or is not their style, and to realize how they're so interconnected. Like there's like a great website. It's like, I think it's like Who Sampled This or Who Something Like That.com. And it'll tell you like the original version, and then like the modern version where they sampled from, like for like Wu-Tang Clan and like Biggie. Like, so it's cool to try to transition like the old original song into like the newer song, stuff like that.
Right. Like Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like Under Pressure. Right,
yeah. I can't remember what that sample is from. Bowie?
Yeah. Like they argued and said it wasn't, but like it's pretty much.
It's one note off or something, right? Or something.
Yeah. Like
well, how about this? All right. You know the Smurf song? Do you know how that one goes?
Fa la 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 la, that one?
Yeah. La 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 la.
Yeah.
Now do Angel as the centerfold. Na 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 na.
Oh. I
think they got some inspiration there, Jay Guile.
Little notes coming down. I'm gonna see if I can find that. Yeah, because that was the thing. Like, I got the gift of like that masterclass thing, and it's been good. Like, some good musicians, but like I said, Questlove had this whole class, and it wasn't about drumming or like art. It was like about how he DJs and like how he curates his, and like how deep he tries to go. And it was like that. Like he'll like drop in like an old 70s theme show, or the original sample to get people like, oh, they're gonna drop Biggie. Then he plays like the original. Like I forget the sample like that's used a lot in like The Chronic, right, by Dre. Like, I don't know, I love that stuff. I think it's so great.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
One of my favorite like songs. I could swear I had it right here. I think it's near my turntable, so I won't be able to like break it out to show it to you. But it's a record I came across in like Goodwill or Salvation Army for like, $1 or something. And I was so blown away by the cover. I just had to get it. The cover art is just so cool. And it's called Electric Black Man. Okay. And it's this guy, Eric Mercury. And there's a song called Long Way Down. It's like the opening track and it's still one of my top favorite albums I've ever heard in my entire life. And it's every time I you know, someone comes over, people haven't been over in a while, but like when they do and they say, you know, pick one of your favorite songs to like share with me. And I pick it and everyone's like, what the hell was that? Yeah. Because it starts out like with this funk wah-wah thing. And all of a sudden it goes into country fiddle and then a soul singer. It's like, man, it's a masterpiece. Yeah. It's a full masterpiece. Yeah. Electric Black Man is the album. Yeah. Eric Mercury is the artist, and it's called Long Way Down. So give that one a go. I bet you'll dig it.
That's the best too, because like with the tool, you can chop it up, so you can take that like first part of the funky part and then like the fiddle and like come back to it, or like, you know, tweak around, add like echoes and change. I mean, I'm better than I was like 9 months ago, but it's good. It's I usually do it at nighttime. It's like I just get excited to have like, because I tried to play guitar when I was younger, and I have a guitar, but I can't play. Yeah, I could strum. Yep. That was why I got it, because I managed a band, Dan, and like we'd all be hanging out on the road or just like at gigs afterwards in the hotel, and they were all writing new songs, or just like, and I was just like, I just wanted to be part of the gang, like, you know, like I just want, like, so I would just get into like, even if most of the time I wasn't even playing it, but it was just like to feel like part of the crew.
Cool. Yeah, man, I feel like everyone has musical ability, you know, whether or not they know it, they just don't know what instrument. Yeah, like if everyone was brought to a room where they had every instrument, you can just try one and see what vibes with you, then, you know, that's your go-to. It's like I was brought up in a house where there was like drums, bass, guitar, trumpet, piano, like everything in this one room, because my dad's a musician as well, and he played still plays accordion and piano, but he played all those instruments in different bands. Like he played drums in a country band, then he played bass in another band, and then and so I feel like when I first started out, I was mainly playing piano. My parents took me to piano lessons for like 4 years, and I liked it. I loved piano, but it didn't like sink in with me. I felt like it was like a chore for me to like know this instrument. Not a chore. I like it better now, but when there was one point where I taught my younger brother how to play piano because he showed interest in it, and I showed him this classical piece. In 1 week, he memorized and played that classical piece by the end of the week. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with this instrument. Take it over, Chris. I'm going to do guitar. Because I would always grab my older brother's guitar. And I'm like, I'm always playing it. He's like, put it back in my room. What do you do with my guitar? Yeah. So I always had it. And when my older brother went away to Seattle, moved away to Seattle, I ended up playing his guitar a lot because he taught me my first like 3 chords. And so it's so funny that, you know, I hated my little brother, the piano, and then I took on guitar.
A family band, you guys should play, we play together. That's good, yeah. So where are we now, Dan? We got like we've got a Holly, we've got the cat art, got your records back there. Where are we? Is this where it all happens? Is this the magic?
Yeah, this is my living room. I'll show you around just a little bit. Not too crazy because I'm all plugged in, but I got my record collection back there.
Oh, beautiful.
That's my I still got some Santas up. Don't judge me.
No, man, you're the holiday extraordinaire.
Yep. I still got my Christmas tree, but yet, like I was telling you, I made these shamrocks.
Nice.
And on Valentine's Day, you know, last year actually, I made the hearts there, but then we got my leg I made.
Little Christmas story, yeah.
And then of course the Easter Bunny.
Yep. And then I see up in your window that beautiful print you made, you know, last year. That was kind of your anti-racism, the fist. I saw that in your window.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you were saying before you wrote a bunch of songs of the kind of, because you're right. I think 2020 has been a whirlwind of different extremes in this here in the States. So I'm glad. I can't wait to hear what these songs are.
Oh, cool.
No
yeah.
pressure, no pressure.
So eventually, like I started recording 2 albums last year, like not like before the pandemic. I was already like in the middle of almost finishing my Christmas album. And at the same time, I've been recording a solo acoustic album that I record certain songs in certain locations that are sacred to me in New England. Mm-hmm. So it's like I recorded a song under a lilac tree in the Boston Arnold Arboretum. That was one of the songs, the birds flying all around me and everything. And then I recorded one in a chapel on Monhegan Island in Maine. So I recorded a song there. So the album is going to be basically like a tour, like a Dan Blakeslee, I'm going to bring you on tour with me kind of thing. Solo acoustic, but then I'm also recording a version of all those songs at home. So in the album, like this is my original thought. In the album, you'll have the version where it's like, you can hear like, the street horns and, the sound of the birds and stuff and, a river going by. And then in the other one, it's like at home, like quiet, so you can hear just the song.
Yeah.
But
now
that's what I'm working on.
How are you recording that? Like when you're recording it live, I mean, what is your, like from the tech setup, what are you doing? How are you doing that?
Yeah, well, I bought a Zoom recorder, like the I guess the top of the line Zoom recorder. So it's like a high-end, high definition recorder, and it has its quirks though. I'm actually looking for a different thing. And the whole reason I did that was because I needed a battery powered unit, because like there was only one place I recorded that have an electrical outlet. So I need a recorder that could be battery powered and remote. And but each one, it's so funny. It's like, you would think, okay, Dan Blakeslee's recording one song at this location. How long is it going to take? Like 10 minutes? No, it takes like 3 hours between setting it up and like just getting back to the energy of the spot. I don't want to just record it and leave. It's like I'm enjoying my spot.
Right.
So
you up, strum, you're like, I gotta go. It's like
right. But
then,
some are more technical than others. Like, oh, do I put the recorder on this log, or do I put it in the log, or do I put it? You know what I mean? It's like so it's sort of, one of the locations was in Bethel, Vermont. It's this place that I used to go. I discovered it because I had a car that had a bad radiator, and I was living in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And Burlington is 4 hours away. So I would drive 2 hours, give my car a break. So I found this beautiful spot where these two rivers come together, and this beautiful like wilderness spot that there's a tiny park that I've only seen 1 or 2 cars at, like ever usually. And it's really just a beautiful, peaceful place. And it's like, I love sitting there listening to the river and just kind of vibing out. I've written so many songs there. And so I went to record, and then all of a sudden, boom, someone opened a sawmill. So it's like I'm recording, and all of a sudden you hear, and I'm like, son of a gun. So I ended up waiting there for like 3 or 4 hours. Then it started raining.
So
I did get I got to take, but I'm going to go back and record it now that the weather's getting warmer.
All right. That's exciting. Now, are the songs, were they written at those spots, or these are kind of like your happy places type of thing?
Yeah, they're my happy places, and they're songs that I feel like it's fitting that I record it there. Either like like our the song. I wrote a song about peace, and I recorded that in the lilac grove with the birds like kind of flying around. It kind of felt like that was the right song for that location. And then other ones are specific. Hey, I wrote this song, you know, in a railroad car, and I'm going to film it, record it in the same railroad car.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I've never written one in a railroad car.
Now you're like, oh, I got to find a
Something to think about, man. I wish there weren't so many damn cameras around.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, I wanted to so badly to hop the train that goes like, it's like 6 miles away from my family farm. Just to like, I used to always see like open cars all the time. And it's like a big train yard. And I'm like, man, I wish I had just hopped that thing. I bet my parents are glad that I didn't.
Right. Made you feel like we're a little older. Like there were so many like kids things and like movies where it was just like the runaway thing was like to get on a train and no one ever noticed the kids. They'd be in like the back and they would like, even like Frosty the Snowman, they like get in like a.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they just hop in the front end. It's like the ice car. And it's like no one notices. Those doors are, yeah, it's just hilarious. It's just like,
right.
You would run away and then they would run away with a stick and like a handkerchief of all their stuff over their shoulder. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
I would need more than a stick with a hanky.
Yeah, I would need like a ton of stuff. I'd be like, I would not be able to get away quickly. I would not be mobile. I'd be a mess. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That would hold just my water.
Yeah. Exactly. So, we lost you, Dan.
Oh, sorry. Man, I don't know how to hold on just a second. This is crazy. Hold on. It's going to be just a second because can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. So I have a phone call coming in and
okay.
I'm trying to figure out how to ignore it.
It'll ring through.
Like it says either end and accept or hold and accept.
We're back.
How about just end?
Yeah. So the cat, who's the cat? Because that reminds me of a cat I used to have when I was younger.
Oh, back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that at a Goodwill for $25. The thing is like 5 feet.
Yeah, it's huge.
3 feet. It's gigantic.
No, you
couldn't believe it. It's like I had to take 3 pieces of artwork off the wall to fit the cat, but it was worth it.
Are you a cat person?
I am. Big cat guy. I'm an animal person though, really, but it's like, you know, I've had many dogs like in my life too, but something about cats, I don't know what it is. Like I go to my mom, she's got 4 of them, and it's always so fun. They all have each very unique personalities, to say the least. But I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Now, where's home now? I know you moved a few times in recent years. You know, are you is it New Hampshire now? Is that where you are?
No. I'm in Providence now.
Okay.
And my original home is South Berwick, Maine.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yep.
I can't wait to go. Yeah. Maine is like, that's when you're talking happy places. Maine we always come back to Maine. We went last year, even with the pandemic. We just got like a place and it was pretty much on lockdown. We just went hiking and.
I did that too. Like it was like kind of like around May, and I had to figure out how to deliver a painting that I spent 250 hours on. I had to deliver it to Bar Harbor, and it was really nice. My mom's like, stay at the family camp for 2 weeks in quarantine, then deliver the painting. And I'm like, oh my God, because we have a family camp that's been in the family since the 30s, up near Ellsworth. And so that's what I did last summer. I spent 3 separate trips up there, like kayaking all by myself, didn't need 6 feet around me. You know, I did a lot of nature walks, and like, it was so important for my mental health to do that. So I'm glad you did that too. Yeah,
we found like it was we always go. It was near the town where we did the event up there, and that's where we go every year. And it was Bridgton. We stayed in Bridgton, and it's just. I love Maine. I would love to live. I think that's where I'll like my walk off into the sunset town will be, like somewhere in Maine. Just grow old, go visit lighthouses, and yeah.
That's awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Where do you're in Connecticut, right?
Yeah, I'm in Shelton, so I'm like right below New Haven, not too far from where we did our first show. So for folks, I mean, Dan is episode 1. Without Dan, we might not have this project.
You're a great guy.
You're our first episode, our first guest. We found you and you agreed to do it, and I had such a great conversation with you that you inspired me to do look, without you and our first few guests, that's why we're kind of going back to all our early guests with video to kind of catch up. And you mean a lot to me, Dan. I appreciate you so much.
Oh, thank you. And same to you. I appreciate you having me and for thinking of me in the first place, Yeah,
no, that's I mean. At first it was just okay, the guy who did this, but now you're a friend, and I have some of your art, and I enjoy your music, which is a bonus, unexpected bonus, right? And not that but I didn't know you as a musician, and then to find out you've played, and we you're a gift, and I appreciate you very much.
Oh, cool! I had so much fun playing that show. The one, not the Bridgton one, the one we did near New Haven.
Yeah, the art gallery, that was so cool.
Being part of the art, but also playing a show after. So thanks for that up too.
Yeah, it was just I mean, we have no constraints and just kind of figuring stuff out together. And you're always up for it. And you always have good ideas and just or just a good, and then your friend came too and played Eric, right? I think is his name. Was that? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're saying about new music. I didn't know him from Adam. And then I was excited to see you. Then, can my friend play too? And then he played and he was killer. And then he has stories, you have stories. And it was this is great. Yeah.
It's funny. It's when I go see a show, I like to hear the story behind the song. And it's funny. It's sometimes I open up and I tell people, oh, this is what happened. This is why I wrote this song and, whatever. And, but sometimes I don't. And it's so funny. It's most people that I know, like to hear kind of what the song is about, because it can be very vague to people. Otherwise, they're just hearing words and sounds, and it may sound cool, but I don't know what it means, So it's I always like to know the story behind the song. And that's another thing I was thinking of doing is with my new album is to tell the story behind the song before each take on the record. You know what I mean? Say, this one I wrote about blah, 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 blah. Here it is, and go for it.
Yeah. Well, it could be interesting. I mean, it's more work, but a video, right? Maybe not the actual take of you performing it, but something like this where you're there and then, there's a link on your website, a secret spot on your website that's all the places, maybe, I don't know.
Writing photos of the places or something like that,
a multimedia way to kind of this is where you did it, or maybe that's just how you do your preview of my new album's coming out. Maybe you just film yourself at all the places and just do a little 1.5-minute video.
It's funny because I originally thought of doing that, but it was so much to set up just the recording equipment.
Yeah.
That I didn't have enough room on my phone to film and stuff. And I was man, I can't I just want to get a good take of the song. Right. But that's a good idea. At least film a video at the locations afterwards or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you want to hear a song now?
Yes. Good. Yes.
All right. I got my guitar. Hold on.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna play a song.
Is that an octopus on the guitar?
Actually, I'm gonna put this down just a little bit. Sorry, this is probably really annoying to people, but I hope not.
No, that's fine. Is that an octopus on the guitar?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna tell you the story behind the song. I hope that's cool.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So I was playing in a show. What is going on, man? My apartment is so cramped. I was playing a show in the White Mountains in New Hampshire many years ago, and it was during a blizzard. I played a 3-hour set, and after I got done with the show, I was sitting at the bar eating some food, and there were hardly any people there because it was like an absolute blizzard out. Unless you had a snowmobile, you're not going to the gig. And so there were a couple guys sitting at the bar who had been there all night. And the owners had shut off, they're trying to like usher people out slowly. So they shut off the music, they turn on the lights. These guys at the bar, the two gentlemen, they didn't break for anything. Like, it was so crazy. They were so immersed in conversation. And I was listening because it was like silent. And I overheard one guy say to the other, he said, my gal, she gave me a white horse named Valentino as a gift. And I was so blown away at that statement. I'm like, your girlfriend gave you a horse as a gift? Yeah. So I interrupted and I said, can you please elaborate on that a little more? And so it was so crazy. An hour and a half went by as he's telling us the story, and all of a sudden the inn owners are like this, like, oh my God. Like, everyone is blown away by what this guy's saying. And so this song goes out to Marvin and his horse named Valentino. I'm an Alabama college boy. I took a break from the books. I met me a girl coming with a ride. That pretty little thief, my heart took. It was at the Canadian border back in 1985. She gave to me a pure white horse. This is why I am alive. Oh, Valentino, my lightning steed. Oh, Valentino, my friend indeed. What I have to watch you bleed. One day we played, the heat was high. I went to hop the saddle. He bucked and he jumped, warning me. He got bit by a snake with the sound of a rattle. Oh, Valentino, my lightning steed. Oh, Valentino, my friend indeed. Why'd I have to watch you bleed? And with my companion slowly dying, after 2 long years he did succumb to snake bite venom. I'm getting on my denim. Headed back to the south, gonna use my thumb. Oh, Valentino, my lightning steed. Oh, Valentino, my friend indeed. What I have to watch you bleed.
Yeah.
there's that one. That's Valentino.
So the horse got bit by a rattlesnake and died?
Yeah. It's crazy that when he was telling us the story, everyone was in such disbelief. They're like, man, that is just crazy. Crazy story. Yeah, he was so I'll tell you the story that he told me. He was going to school in Alabama, going to college, and he was really getting sick of studying, and he said, hey, I'm gonna get away for a little bit. Maybe it was spring break or something. And he went to Canada. So he's in line at the border exchanging money, exchanging, US for Canadian. And all of a sudden behind him, there's this girl, and she taps him on the shoulder and gives him her phone number. And they became long lovers, and they were together for years, and she got him the horse, and they had the horse for years. And eventually they ended up breaking up, but he kept the horse, and he got to know the horse so well that he could tell what the horse was thinking, and the horse could tell what he was thinking. And one day he went to go ride on the plane, and he went to go, hop on the saddle on the horse, and the horse was bucking like crazy. And he goes, man, the horse is signaling me. There's got to be something wrong. So he went around the horse, looking all around it and everything, checking it, and noticed that there was a rattlesnake that would have bit him if he'd hopped on the horse, but instead it bit the horse. So the horse succumbed to death after a couple of years from the rattlesnake bite. Isn't that crazy?
The horse sacrificed itself in a way for him.
Yeah, it's such a wild story, and it was crazy because I met this guy once. Yeah, and it was like, and it's one of those venues that puts you up in their inn after your performance. So it's so nice. You get a good night's sleep, get a nice breakfast, and like whatever. Because a lot of places don't do that. So I was super psyched. I'm like, man, I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I don't have to pay for a hotel. And then I meet this Marvin guy, and I'm up all night. I didn't sleep a wink that night. All I was thinking about was his horse and like the story. So that's when I wrote it. And it was kind of funny because the other guy, my friend Jonathan Sardi, who set up the gig, also played. And he was also staying there because he actually lived there. And he was up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning anyway, because he couldn't sleep either. I was like, man, this guy had a crazy, like impactful story. And then, so I never saw Marvin again. And I'm like, man, I wrote the song. I want to figure out how to get this to him. And I know that he frequented that spot that I was playing at, Wildcat Inn in Jackson, New Hampshire, a lot. And so every time I played there, on the microphone, I'm like, does anyone know a guy named Marvin? He had a white horse named Valentino. He's from Alabama, like all this stuff. And no one did anything. One day, 3 years later, I'm playing in Dover, New Hampshire. And there's this elderly woman by the door. She's like absolutely glowing. It's so crazy. She comes up to me after the gig and she goes, no, I know Marvin. I'm his ex-girlfriend. And I'm like, oh my God.
She's the horse giver?
How cool is that, right? So I gave her the song and she goes, I don't know if he's going to be able to hear it right now. He's in jail, but I'll let him know once he gets out. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so crazy. So I still don't know if he's heard it or not, but I just...
Oh my gosh. I feel like we should find out Marvin. He's probably got a whole bunch more stories. Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah. I know. That's what I was thinking, man. I could do a whole album of
Johnny Cash. Maybe get a gig at the prison and play for him at the prison.
She said, his girlfriend said, and it wasn't the girl that gave him the horse. She said, he's been known to tell some pretty wild tales that may or may not be true. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to believe that it's true.
Yeah. Do not. Yeah. If you find out it's not true, do never tell me. Yeah. Because I need to believe that man and his horse were united as one. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Can you do one more? You want to do one more?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Encore? Man, I'm trying to think. You know what? I'm going to do one that I wrote during this pandemic. Cool. And it's actually a song about an old girlfriend of mine from Canada. That,
but she didn't give you a horse though. No horse.
No, she didn't. Maybe that's why.
The secret of life and love.
No, she was really sweet, and it didn't work out because, sorry, I'm getting my capo and stuff. So if anyone's wondering why I'm wearing a Gingerbread t-shirt, well, it's a Christmas.
Is it a character like Shrek? Like Shrek when they're all like the gingerbread men?
But Gingerbread, it's my favorite cookie.
Really?
Like I used to go, when I lived in Somerville, Massachusetts, I would go to the same bakery every single day, and they'd be like, gingerbread cookie? I'm like, yes. I mean, yes, I've been here 3 years. And they started calling me Gingerbread.
Oh, yeah?
And I love it. I'm glad they didn't call me molasses, because it's a gingerbread molasses cookie. I'm a little slow on certain things, but, you know, I don't know. Whatever.
A little beard, little Blakeslee beard on the gingerbread cookie?
Right. So this song, I'm gonna show a little of the guitar again, because why not? All right. So this song I wrote early on in the pandemic. Actually, I was going through some boxes and stuff like that. Had a few days off, especially early on when everyone didn't know what the hell to do. So I'm like, I may as well go through some of these boxes I've been holding on to for my whole life. So I went through and I found this a few old letters from my ex-girlfriend in Canada when I was like 19 or 20 when we were together. We were only together like over the course of like 3/4 of a year or something like that. And I met her when I was working at a lobster restaurant in Maine, and she would come there with her family. So we got to know each other and just hit it off. And so we, I visited her a handful of times, but I also didn't have my own car. So I always had to bum my family's station wagon to make like a 1-day trip and then come back. And so that maybe that was the demise of our relationship, but I always like thought about her because she was like just such a great gal. And so I was reading that letter, and it's from 30 years ago. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And her letter was so beautiful. And I'm sure that I actually responded to it and mailed her a letter or called her or something. But I also wanted to do a new response to her letter. So basically to know that I'm still thinking of her and everything, and in like just that it was a wonderful experience. So here we go. This song is called Song for Annie. Oh, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mail. I recorded this song, and I'm going to mail it to the old address on her on the envelope from 30 years ago.
All right.
Who knows if she's still there? But hopefully someone will have, get it to her somehow. Dearest Annie, I hope this letter finds you well. Riding from quarantine, together we're going through hell. Today, a flower bloomed from a box in the basement. Words you spoke to me 30 years ago. It came Canadian Post, and it came from your heart. So I'll dust off my reply. At least it's a start. Best time to bring sunshine and light to a friend. Time to grow a new vine. Ring light in again. Back when we met in a little village by the sea, I was clearing tables, you with your family. Then we saw that moon as it hung over old Quebec. It still follows me, I guess it never left. And at the end of that summer, I had to go to school. Once a crazy boy, now a crazy man, still a crazy fool. There's time to bring sunshine and light to a friend. Time to grow a new vine, bring light in again. I get a tear in my eye every time I hear that song. Am a key to pop, so I'm writing you, but that I can't be wrong. There's time to bring sunshine and light to a friend. Time to grow a new vine, bring light in again. There's time to bring sunshine and light to a friend. Time to grow a new vine, bring light in again. Bring light in again. Bring light in again.
Yeah.
So that's for Annie Russo.
Nice. And I think earlier when we first started talking, right, about your brother, the love of the son, and that song kind of is a nice way to pay tribute to him, right? I mean, his light, and the sun.
Absolutely.
Brings it all together. And I think that that's why I like storytelling. I mean, I have music that I just listen, like the words and just the idea of something that happened so long ago still bringing joy today, and just kind of, it's a nice kind of also to like retrospective, looking back on your life and where you were and where you came. I think the line you said, like, I was a crazy boy, now a crazy man, and crazy fool.
Yep.
It's just, I think that our journey, kind of builds on top of each other and brings us to where we are. But to look back on, I don't know, something so long ago with such fondness is it's a great song.
Well, it's crazy because in one of the letters, she was like 18 or 19 or something like that. And she's like, yeah, I want to go to school, become a doctor, and work in the medical field or whatever. And what I did was, I figured I'd like Google her on Facebook, and there were like a bunch of like Annie Russos, and one of them, but I don't know if I found the right one, but I became friends with her sister. So it seems like the right gal. But then I also just Googled her name, and there's a video of her. She's a doctor, and she's like telling people how she did this one procedure. And I'm like, oh my God, she fulfilled her dream. How beautiful is that? I just thought that was so cool. And I'm like, oh my God, that's her without question.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that, it's exciting. And those songs, I mean, that could be a concept album, right? The Year That Never Was, kind of, you there in your head and taking things in and narrating life. Cause I've got, my mom sent me a bunch of old photos I always go through, and like, it's kind of cool. I have like all these old, I guess they're passed down. They're old newspapers, like from when we landed on the moon, or when Kennedy.
Right.
Yeah. It's like,
I love stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm super nervous. Like, I don't want to open it up because I'm afraid it's going to fall apart. So it's like this whole thing, it's like a whole thing. But like, I think I'm going to get the cover. And then you go the funny where it's like, Dumb and Dumber when he's like, we landed on the moon, Yeah. So it's So again, Dan, I just wanted to thank you. I mean, your energy and perspective, and just kind of you're just a great person, good human. I love your music, and
Oh, thanks.
I'm glad that you're part of my this adventure. Like I said, without you, you're episode 1, and this is probably like 180 something, and without you,
oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so folks like you inspire me to keep doing it, and I find joy in just sharing stories like yours. And we'll be together soon. I can't wait. And if you ever need anything, I'm always here for you, man.
Heck yeah! Hold on, can I? Don't go anywhere. Just a second.
Oh, this should be
cool. Holly will entertain you.
All right. So Holly, what is it like living with Dan? Okay, I see. Let's see. See if you look at this photo. See if you can name 5 things in Dan's. There's a
I'm coming back.
Trivial Pursuit box. All right.
Yeah. I wanted to share with folks. I know you've seen it, AJ, but so originally when I did the Heady Topper label art, John Kimmich, had very specific ideas, like right from the start.
I love this.
And he told me, he said, okay, I want a guy drinking a beer and his head absolutely exploding, ripping apart, like atomic bomb with hops coming out of it. So I said, okay. So I drafted up some sketches, and this is the earliest sketch of Heady Topper.
Yeah. And he's like,
he said,
too much explosion.
Why don't you dial it back a whole bunch? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so funny, because I said, you did say skull ripping apart. And
yeah, I remember you told me
that.
We got that. You brought it, like it's coming to the forehead. And then
sideways portrait thing. And it's funny because I didn't mean to make the label look like me in a way, but it's funny because that was the first year that I grew a beard, and I took a picture of me sideways like this, and just kind of like, sort of like, sketched it, based on the figurative, likeness of, not likeness of me, but just, guy in a beard. And, but it's so funny because here I am. I've never had like alcohol in my life, and it's like I'm portrayed as
you're like an icon. You're a beer
sort of the Heady Topper beer.
Yeah, I love that. It's like a storytelling, right? I always that was one of my favorite shows. Was Behind the Music on VH1, and then they had a pop-up video.
I love that
pop-up video where it would like tell you like, oh, this person in the video is this musician, or this they filmed it here because of that. Like, I miss those shows. That'd be good.
Yeah. Well, thanks again so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you, talking with you. I can't wait till we can see each other actually in person.
I look forward to it too, my friend. And you and your family are my thoughts. And
thank you.
When I feel the sun, later today when I get my son, I'll think of you and your brother, and it'll put a smile.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Talk to you soon, Dan.
Yeah. Be safe and healthy, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Later, brother.
Peace.